Atlanta Dream versus Chicago Sky. Wintrust Arena is the venue where, and the Chicago Sky, 8/21, will play the Atlanta Dream, 18/11, on Thursday. The Atlanta Dream faced off with the Washington Mystics and notched a win by a score of 99-83 in their last game. Atlanta finished the contest having earned a 56.3% field goal percentage, 36 of 64, and made 9 out of their 23 three-point attempts. At the free throw line, the Dream buried 18 of 23 attempts for a percentage of 78.3%. In reference to grabbing rebounds, they earned 33, with 10 of them being of the offensive sort. They also dished out 26 assists in this contest, in addition to forcing 22 turnovers and having 12 steals. In relation to defending, Atlanta let their opponent shoot 49.2% from the floor on 31 of 63 shooting. Washington doled out 6 assists and had 11 steals in the matchup. Moreover, Washington snagged 19 boards, 6 offensive, 13 defensive, and added 2 rejections. Washington ended up going 90.0% from the free throw line by burying 18 of their 20 attempts. They also knocked down 3 out of their 12 tries from three-point range. Brianna Jones is someone who was a major contributor for this game. She finished with 23 points on 9 out of 10 shooting. She played 26 minutes and also pulled down 5 boards. Jones finished shooting 90.0% from the floor and recorded 1 assist. Atlanta comes into this matchup with a mark of 18-11 for the season, positioning themselves as one of the stronger teams in the league entering the final stretch. The Dream are shooting 33.8% on three-point attempts, 276 of 816, and 76.4% from the free throw line, both of which are respectable figures that reflect their offensive balance. They are averaging 84.6 points per contest, 5th in the league, on an efficient 44.2% from the field, showing their ability to score both inside and out. While they give up possession 12.0 times per game, they've managed to offset that with ball movement and tempo, committing just 16.6 fouls per game. As a unit, Atlanta is collecting 36.2 rebounds per game, showing strength on the glass, and has accounted for 620 assists so far this year, which ranks 4th in the WNBA in terms of sharing the basketball and finding open looks. On the defensive end, the Dream have forced 11.9 turnovers on a nightly basis, and they consistently draw 18.3 fouls, a reflection of their physical perimeter defense. The Dream defense is allowing a shooting percentage of 43.4%, 346 of 532, and they concede just 31.6 rebounds per contest as a group. They rank 4th in the WNBA in giving up assists to their opponents, with 553 conceded on the season, which speaks to their ability to disrupt opposing ball movement. They are conceding 33.8% on three-point attempts, while ranking 3rd in basketball in points allowed per game, 79.0, making them one of the toughest defenses to crack in the league. Atlanta's ability to combine a top 5 scoring offense with a top 3 scoring defense has been the foundation of their success. The Chicago Sky delivered a much-needed win in their most recent outing, defeating the Washington Mystics by a score of 78-64 in a strong all-around performance on both ends of the floor. This victory was a display of discipline, hustle, and efficiency, as the Sky found ways to assert themselves in critical statistical areas, especially on the glass and in half-court execution. Chicago controlled the rebounding battle, finishing with a commanding 40 boards in total, which included 27 defensive rebounds and 13 crucial offensive rebounds that gave them multiple second-chance opportunities. Their physical presence in the paint helped them limit Washington's ability to generate extra possessions, even though the Mystics did end up with 45 total rebounds of their own, including 14 on the offensive end. While that disparity could be a concern, The Sky's efficiency in converting their second chance looks proved to be the difference. Ball security was also a positive aspect of Chicago's play. They committed just 12 turnovers in the contest, a number that's lower than their season average, though they only registered 3 steals. Their on-ball pressure and disciplined switching forced the Mystics into tough looks throughout the night. Defensively, the Sky were able to keep Washington contained, allowing just 41.5% shooting from the field on 27 of 65 attempts. Chicago's defense also suffocated the Mystics from long range, limiting them to a mere 2 of 15, 13.3%, from beyond the arc, an area where Washington has struggled but typically looks to exploit. Offensively, the Sky were solid, making 34 of their 63 field goal attempts for an efficient 54.0% shooting mark, while their perimeter shooting left room for improvement, going just 4 of 15, 26.7% from three-point land. They made up for it with smart shot selection inside the arc and effective movement off the ball. The Sky weren't dominant at the free throw line, hitting just 6 of 9 attempts, 66.7%, but they did enough to maintain their lead and stay ahead down the stretch. The Mystics committed 17 fouls in this matchup, allowing the Sky to earn quality trips to the charity stripe, although the attempts were limited. Washington struggled not just with fouls, but also with offensive flow and spacing, thanks in part to the Sky's strong closeouts and help defense. Even though the Mystics managed to rack up 45 rebounds and 14 offensive boards, their inefficiency from deep and lack of rhythm in half-court sets ultimately left them playing from behind most of the way. This win was a refreshing change of pace for a Chicago team that has struggled with consistency. By keeping their turnovers low, shooting efficiently inside the arc, and crashing the boards with purpose, the Sky put together one of their more complete efforts of the season. It's the kind of blueprint they'll look to replicate moving forward, especially against teams with similar records or offensive struggles. If they can sustain this level of play, particularly in defensive intensity and rebounding, they may be able to string together some momentum in what has been a tough season thus far. Elizabeth Williams ended up being a factor for the Sky for the matchup. She buried 7 of 11 in this contest for a field goal percentage of 63.6% and had 10 rebounds. Williams tallied 18 points in her 36 minutes on the court and tallied 2 assists in this contest. The Chicago Sky entered this contest with a record of 8-21 on the season, struggling to gain consistent traction in what has been a tough campaign. Offensively, the Sky are producing 76.4 points per game, with a total of 2,216 points across the season. Their scoring output ranks among the lower half in the WNBA, and much of that can be attributed to their shooting efficiency. They are converting 42.1% of their field goals, which places them 9th in the league, a number that reflects inconsistency from both mid-range and beyond the arc. From the charity stripe, Chicago is hitting 76.2% of their free throws, a decent but not elite number, especially considering they are drawing 18.4 fouls per game, giving them numerous chances to cash in at the line. However, the Sky haven't always capitalized on those opportunities, which becomes more glaring in close matchups where every point matters. Ball movement has been a mixed bag for this squad. They're currently averaging 18.9 assists per game, which ranks them 9th in the league, while they do demonstrate flashes of fluid offense, especially in transition or off-strong pick-and-roll execution. The consistency simply hasn't been there. On the flip side, they're also turning the ball over at a fairly high clip, 15.7 times per game, which undermines their offensive possessions and has often allowed opponents to build or maintain momentum. When it comes to rebounding, the Sky averaged 36.2 boards per game, which has been one of their brighter spots. Their presence on the glass has helped them stay competitive in stretches, especially when they're able to limit second chance opportunities. However, Defensive rebounding remains an area where they could tighten up, as they're allowing 33.8 rebounds per contest, placing them 6th in the league in that category. Defensively, Chicago has had its share of struggles. They rank 10th in the league in points allowed, giving up 86.2 per game. Opponents are shooting 44.8% from the floor against them, which also places them 10th league-wide. Their defensive issues are compounded by giving up a 36.3% mark from three-point territory, with opponents converting 279 of 768 attempts from beyond the arc. The perimeter defense has been slow to rotate at times, and too often opposing shooters find clean looks. The Sky are also letting opponents convert 74.4% of their free throw attempts, which means they're not necessarily benefiting when forcing players to earn their points at the line. In terms of ball pressure, Chicago is forcing just 11.6 turnovers per game, which is relatively low compared to more aggressive defenses across the WNBA. Furthermore, their opponents are averaging 21.4 assists per outing, ranking Chicago 11th in that department, and indicating some defensive lapses when it comes to off-ball communication and help coverage. Overall, while there are some statistical positives, like rebounding and free throw consistency, Chicago's season has largely been marked by offensive inefficiencies and defensive breakdowns. If the Sky are to finish the season on a more competitive note, they'll need to tighten up defensively, move the ball more effectively on offense, and significantly reduce the turnover margin that continues to cost them momentum in crucial stretches. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Chicago winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box. Connecticut Sun versus Los Angeles Sparks. The Connecticut Sun, 523. Go to Crypto.com Arena on Thursday, where they'll meet the Los Angeles Sparks, 13-15. The Connecticut Sun faced off with the Phoenix Mercury and went home with a loss by a final score of 82-66 in their last game. Connecticut ended having earned a 34.7% field goal percentage, 25 out of 72, and made 5 out of their 25 shots from beyond the arc. At the free throw line, the Sun made 11 of their 12 shots for a rate of 91.7%. With respect to grabbing rebounds, they collected 28, with 6 of them being of the offensive sort. They also doled out 14 assists in the game, while creating 20 turnovers and getting 12 steals. When it comes to defending, Connecticut let their opponent shoot 45.3% from the field on 29 of 64 shooting. Phoenix doled out 24 assists and had 7 steals in the matchup. Furthermore, Phoenix pulled down 35 rebounds, 7 offensive, 28 defensive, and earned 3 blocked shots. Phoenix ended up going 84.2% at the free throw line by making 16 of their 19 shots. They converted 8 out of their 20 attempts from distance. Marina Mabre is one player who was a major factor in the matchup. She left the arena with 18 points on 7 out of 18 shooting. She saw the court for 30 minutes and also grabbed 3 rebounds. Mabre finished 38.9% from the field and recorded 3 assists. Connecticut comes into this contest with a record of 523 so far this season. The Sun are hitting 29.7% on shots from three-point land, 172 of 580, and 81.0% from the free throw line. They are averaging 74.5 points per game, 13th in the league, while hitting 40.2% from the field. They turn it over 14.0 times per game, and as a team, they commit 20.2 personal fouls per game. As a team, Connecticut is snagging 31.4 rebounds per contest and is sitting with 473 assists on the year, which has them ranked 13th in the WNBA in terms of passing the ball. Defensively, the Sun are able to force 14.1 turnovers on a nightly basis, and they draw 18.1 fouls. They are conceding 34.3% on shots from beyond the arc, and they are ranked 12th in the league in points per game allowed, 86.9. The Sun are giving up a field goal percentage of 46.4%, 395 of 508, and they surrender 36.3 boards per game as a basketball team. They rank 9th in basketball in giving up assists, with 597 conceded so far this year. In their most recent outing, the Los Angeles Sparks put together one of their most complete offensive performances of the season, securing a 191 victory over the Indiana Fever in a fast-paced, high-scoring affair. It was a night where the Sparks' offense was firing on all cylinders, particularly from beyond the arc, and their efficiency on both ends of the floor helped them hold off a persistent Indiana squad. The Sparks dominated much of the contest thanks to their balanced scoring attack and smart decision-making, executing crisp ball movement and efficient shooting that kept the Fever on their heels throughout the night. On the glass, Los Angeles held their own by grabbing a total of 32 rebounds, 25 on the defensive end, and 7 on the offensive glass. While those numbers don't jump off the page, they reflect a team that was effective in limiting Indiana's second-chance opportunities and securing enough boards to control the tempo of the game. The Sparks committed just 11 turnovers, a notably low number that allowed them to maximize their possessions and avoid giving the Fever extra chances to climb back into the contest. Defensively, they recorded just 1 steal, a sign that while the Sparks didn't necessarily pressure the ball aggressively, they still managed to disrupt Indiana's rhythm through good half-court defense and timely contests. One of the biggest highlights of the night was Los Angeles' elite shooting from deep. The Sparks connected on 13 of their 26 three-point attempts, a scorching 50.0% clip from downtown. That outside shooting barrage stretched Indiana's defense and opened up driving lanes for Los Angeles to operate in the half-court. Their overall field goal efficiency was equally impressive. They went 37 of 66 from the field, converting at an eye-popping rate of 56.1%. The balance between perimeter and interior scoring was key, as it kept the Fever from keying in on any single offensive threat. At the free throw line, Los Angeles continued their trend of solid execution, knocking down 13 of 15 attempts, 86.7%, demonstrating their ability to capitalize on opportunities at the stripe, a crucial factor in closing out competitive games. They showed discipline in drawing fouls and composure in converting them, particularly down the stretch when Indiana attempted to mount a comeback. On the other side of the ball, the Sparks allowed Indiana to shoot 44.2% from the field, 34 of 77, which is a mark they'll look to improve upon, but one that didn't do major damage given their own offensive outburst. Indiana's outside shooting was respectable, as they hit 12 of 33 from 3, 36.4%, and knocked down 11 of 13 free throws, 84.6%. But it wasn't enough to offset the Sparks' dynamic attack. On the glass, Los Angeles surrendered 27 rebounds, including 10 on the offensive end. Numbers that show Indiana had opportunities for second-chance points, but didn't capitalize consistently. The Sparks' ability to answer every Fever run with a timely three-pointer or a strong possession helped them maintain control, even when Indiana tried to narrow the margin in the second half. This win was an encouraging sign for Los Angeles, especially given how well they executed on offense and limited their mistakes. The balanced scoring, the high-efficiency shooting, and the poised play under pressure reflect a team that is beginning to find its identity late in the season. As they look ahead to tougher matchups, performances like this could serve as a blueprint, blending offensive versatility with controlled execution. If the Sparks can build on this effort, particularly with their perimeter shooting and low turnover rate, they'll become a much tougher out for any opponent in the WNBA playoff race. Rickea Jackson was important for the Sparks for this game. She converted 10 out of 18 for the game for a field goal rate of 55.6% and had 5 rebounds. Rickea Jackson tallied 25 points in her 32 minutes of playing time and had 2 dimes for this game. The Los Angeles Sparks have posted a 13-15 record so far this season, placing them squarely in the middle of the playoff hunt, but revealing both promise and inconsistency in their overall play. Offensively, the Sparks have shown flashes of elite efficiency, racking up a total of 2,408 points across their 28 games, which averages out to 86.0 points per contest, a figure that keeps them competitive on most nights. Their ability to convert high-percentage shots has been one of the strengths of their offensive identity, as evidenced by their 45.9% field goal shooting percentage, which ranks second best in the WNBA. This level of offensive efficiency stems from their strong ball movement and ability to get downhill off screens and isolations, which has translated into a solid 20.6 assists per game, placing them 6th in the league in that category. However, while their offense has largely been efficient, they've also shown some vulnerability when it comes to protecting the basketball, turning the ball over an average of 14.9 times per game. This turnover rate often limits their ability to maintain offensive momentum and capitalize on key possessions. From the free throw line, Los Angeles shoots a respectable 75.3%, which could still be improved to help close out tight games more consistently. The Sparks also pull down 33.5 rebounds per game, a number that's solid, but not dominant, leaving them somewhat susceptible against teams that thrive on second-chance opportunities. Defensively, the Sparks have struggled for consistency and rank near the bottom of the league in several key areas. They're currently 13th in the WNBA in points allowed per game, surrendering 88.1 points to opponents on average. That figure highlights the team's need to tighten up defensive rotations, especially in transition and around the perimeter. Opponents are converting 45.0% of their field goal attempts against the Sparks, which ranks 11th in the league, showing that defensive resistance at the point of attack and in help coverage remains a concern. Three-point defense has been serviceable but not elite, as Los Angeles allows opposing teams to shoot 34.0% from downtown, yielding 261 made triples on 767 attempts. While not catastrophic, this figure indicates opponents are able to generate clean looks beyond the arc far too often, suggesting potential lapses in closeouts and pick-and-roll coverage. Additionally, the Sparks are letting opponents shoot an eye-popping 83.6% from the free throw line, the highest mark surrendered by any team. That high conversion rate from their opponents at the stripe could indicate late-game foul trouble or inability to defend without fouling when trying to protect leads. One bright spot for the Sparks' defense is their rebounding effort on the defensive end, where they rank 4th in the league by allowing just 33.1 rebounds per game. This indicates their front court presence is at least holding its own on the glass. However, the Sparks have had trouble pressuring the ball consistently, forcing just 12.6 turnovers per contest. Without a disruptive perimeter presence or consistent rim protection, it's been difficult for Los Angeles to generate momentum-changing plays on defense. The Sparks have shown playoff potential in 2025 with solid offense and rebounding, but defensive issues and turnovers have kept them near .500. Until they clean things up, they'll remain on the playoff bubble. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Connecticut winner. Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments box.